Well, hi friends, good to be with you again. Carolyn and I are just about to head off for another 2 weeks free camping. We'll tell you a bit more about where we're going in a short time, but every time before we go away we do a don. We walk around the caravan, make sure everything's okay, that everything's in place, and then once we're satisfied we hop in the car and away we go. So I'm going to do a don now, walk around the van, show you a bit around that, and while I do that Carolyn's going to outline exactly where we go, and then we can hit the road.
So this trip we're heading into the Snowy River country and we're taking the Alpine track. Our first stop will be Tuma, and then we'll be heading down to Mitamita, free camping there, and then on to Omeo for a couple of nights. After Omeo we will head down toward the Victorian northeast coast and stay on a private property called the Wara Old School. We have to pay for that one, but that's okay, $20 a night, should be good. Then we'll start to head a little north to Genoa, just inland from Malakuta, before crossing back into New South Wales for our final few days at Candelo. So we're looking forward to our next adventure, predominantly free camping again through the Snowies, and we hope that you enjoy it too. After catching up with some friends in Cooma, we headed for an overnight stop in Tuma. We travelled through the Kosciuszko National Park until we arrived at the Tuma Inn. Now this is a free camp behind the inn, and it's the first of this kind that we've ever done. The owners, Chris and Chris, that's keeping it simple for us, were very accommodating. And we drove in through the gates and were greeted by the cows in the adjoining paddock, and then we had this beautiful vista of the Snowy Mountain country. We were the only campers there behind the inn, and so we had our pick of the spots to park in, and all we really had to do was make a purchase at the inn, and so we just bought some dry ginger ales and that was it for the night. When you're driving through the Snowy Mountain country, be on the lookout for brumbies and wombats. Now we saw signs for both, not really expecting to see any at all, but it wasn't long before we came across some brumbies roaming across the road. As for the wombats, sadly we only saw dead ones at this stage. Before long we had crossed the New South Wales border into Victoria, and we were on our way to Mitamita. At the moment we're staying at this beautiful little free camp called the Mill, which is not far from the little township of Mitamita in Victoria, and this is the free camp. Honestly, I don't know why we're the only ones here, but I'm pretty pleased about it. It's right by the Mitamita River, which is flowing really fast at the moment, and it's super cold. We've been in it for a couple of times, but it just numbs our feet, to be honest. But it's really nice to be by the river. This free camp comes with toilets, so it's got some really quite nice long drop toilets. There you can see that toilet block there. Nicely kept and nice and clean, toilet paper provided, and it's a nice flat area. Number of trees around, but still some open space for our solar to be working quite well. But here's a little bit of the camping area there. It's really, really nice. It's by the road, so if you were camping here, you would get some traffic noise passing, but we're in this little spot here. That's our setup there behind, and we don't hear really the noise from the traffic at all. We hear more of the noise from the river. I'll show you how fast the river's flowing in a minute. Got our Starlink set up there, so we've managed to get some good signal. And this is our setup here. My husband's just made a lovely fire. That's a great fire, love.
And a cup of coffee there for you.
Oh, thank you. So this is our setup. And it's just really nice and cozy and comfy. Got my beautiful hammock there that I love getting in. Got our fire pit happening. We've been able to find ample firewood around the place, and then this is the Midda River that you can see down here, flowing quite fast. It's quite full actually at the moment, the locals were telling us, and it's freezing in there, but we have managed to have a little dip in there a couple of times. But it's really nice just being by the river. And then just panning around here to see our beautiful setup again. How good is that? It's just beautiful. It's perfect for us. So if you're in the area, I would highly recommend the mill, free camping, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it just as much as we have.
The Midda River, where we're camped at the mill, is actually too cold to stay in for any length of time. However, we found a beautiful park in the Midda township itself, just down the road. You can take a walk through the tree line by the river into town, or just a few minutes drive. By this park is a waterway that flows into the Midda River. It's still cool, but far more pleasant to swim in. Nice and shallow, shaded, and perfect for cooling off in. We thoroughly enjoyed our stay at the mill and would definitely recommend it. Somewhere along the way we must have picked up a nail or something, because as we were packing up to leave, we discovered a flat tyre on the van. Fortunately, I was able to change the tyre quickly before moving on to Victoria Falls, just near Omeo.
We have arrived now at our campsite for the next 4 nights at a little place near Carbungra. The place is called Victoria Falls in Victoria, in the Gippsland region, not far from Omeo. And this is just beautiful. We thought we might just stay for 2 nights, but Bruce really loves this spot. So we think we're going to do 4 nights here. There's toilets, long drop toilets, not far from where we're set up, and a little creek just beyond our setup there. So it's looking great for the next 4 days. Yesterday we had a bit of constant rain at Victoria Falls, where we'd been free camping for the past 3 nights, and so we were advised by the locals here in Omeo to perhaps move from that spot and come into this free camp in town at Livingston Creek Park. So we took their advice, packed up and came down here for the night. Apparently the river can rise really quickly, especially where we were at Victoria Falls, so it was a good idea to move, and helps us get on our early start to Bairnsdale this morning. But this is a beautiful place for just an overnight camp spot, and one of the really good things about Livingston Creek Park is that they actually have a great toilet and shower block. There are 4 showers here, and quite a good toilet block as well. They get a lot of motorcycle and bicycle riders going through Omeo because they love to do the alpine track, and you can see some upgrades here to footpaths and things like that they're doing to accommodate all of these bicycle riders. But this is a really great spot if you're in this area just for an overnight stay. And that was our setup there by the creek, but we could sleep in peace knowing that this part of the river wasn't going to rise up overnight, and we got to hear the ducks and the frogs, and I'm pretty sure we heard platypus splashing around in the creek as well. But Livingston Creek Park is a great place for an overnight free camp. Just take a look at these crazy bike riders from Omeo. This is Omeo's little nod to the number of bicycle riders and motorcycle riders that come through this little township on their way to doing the alpine track. Cute little bikes everywhere with these little wooden figurines. They're having a race there. This guy over here is filming them, and it's just so cute. And you see these little bikes and these little wooden figures all around this little township of Omeo doing crazy little things. But these ones are on a race, uphill and downhill. Look at that. They're going for it. Oh my goodness, look, there's some caught up here in the clothesline. Check this out. Look at that. They've stacked it and they've ended up in the clothesline. It's just so cute. It's a really cute little town, and lots of cattle farms around here. But the tourism that comes through with these bicycle riders is really great. Great little place to visit, Omeo. Victoria Falls was so relaxing, and the little town of Omeo was just so quaint. But it was time to say goodbye to Omeo and all its crazy little bike riders and head to our next stop. We were reminded that Omeo is cattle country, and we had to watch out for the bovine traffic along the way. We made a slight detour to Bairnsdale to get our tyre repaired, then on to our next stop at the Wara Old Schoolhouse. This property is privately owned by a lovely couple and their 4 children. Having travelled around the country themselves, they wanted to open up their land for campers to stay on. And we were happy to pay the $20 a night for 2 nights, especially when we had it all to ourselves. Another easy and delightful stay before heading closer to the New South Wales border to our next stop in Genoa. So just off the road on the outskirts of Genoa is this fantastic little spot, Genoa Park Recreational Reserve. It's got playground and tennis courts, probably for the locals to book, and it's got barbecues and it's got a great toilet block there as well. Look at this, it's even got a book fridge, but you've got to be a little bit careful when you open that, because sometimes the huntsman spiders like to read the books too. But it's a great little park, very neat, flat, easy to park on for up to 72 hours. Currently there's probably about, I reckon there'd be about 21 campers here at the moment, and there's still room for more. So it's very well situated, and it's cozy, but you don't feel like you're on top of each other. This is our setup over here. That sun's a little bright at the moment, but it's really great. We've been thoroughly impressed with this campsite. Somebody else just coming in for the night. Looks like he's going to do a little bit of canoeing. Just beyond those trees is the Genoa River, and it's quite shallow, although fairly quick moving, but easy to walk through, and it's just beautiful to have a little wade in the afternoon, and which we've just been doing. But this is our setup here, and we've got the campfire going. We're allowed to have campfires here, although they do provide picnic tables and fire pits as well. But it's just a really, really lovely place to stop. It's a pity we can only stop for 3 nights, but we've just done 2 nights, 1 night to go, and then we're on to Candelo before we get home. What do you reckon about this site, love?
Oh, it's so good. The facilities are great, the river's
excellent,
just fantastic.
Yeah.
Plenty of firewood around.
Yeah, yeah.
And everyone's really pleasant too. It's just a lovely place.
Yeah. Don't know if you can see those little beauties up there, but there's 8 chooks sitting up there. They're resident chooks. They've settled in to roost for the night. They do tend to wake us up. Well, no, actually they don't wake us up, do they, love?
Not really. You kind of hear them and then they stop.
Yeah, about 3 o'clock in the morning they start clucking away and calling out to their mates. But
so that's part of the reason why we came here.
yeah, we saw it on Wiki Camps and thought that's just so cute. And they come up to greet you when you arrive, and they just wander around each of the campsites, probably looking for some food. But
some people say don't feed them.
Yeah.
Because then they'll hang around, but we fed them and they haven't hung around at all.
No, they come through your campsite and then they move on. It's a great fire.
By the way, is only big at the start.
Right.
Trying to get the coals down.
Yeah.
It's not like that for very long.
No, and we're having lamb chops tonight. Beautiful. I'm going to make up a nice salad.
Right.
The weather's been beautiful.
Perfect.
Reception's okay, isn't it?
Great
Here.
reception.
Yep. And yeah, just a really good spot.
We'll be back for sure.
Today, yeah. If you're going through Genoa or whatever, if you're thinking of staying in Malakuta, just go in for a couple of hours. Come out here for 3 days. It's great. And Can River just down the road a little bit is also good, and there's a good camp down there too. But this has been our home for the last 2 or 3 days, and we've absolutely loved it.
Genoa River is another great spot to cool off. Not fast flowing, it's not cold or deep, just perfect. From our campsite it was an easy walk down to the river. Make sure you take your towel because the sandbanks are great to sunbathe on, in between dips in the river of course, to cool off.
One of the things that we saw on Wikicamps that attracted us to Genoa Campground was the resident chooks. They're very friendly and quite entertaining. Some people whinged about them crowing at 3 a.m. each morning, but that didn't seem to disturb us, and our van was parked right next to the tree where they were brooding in each night. But we could hardly complain. After all, it was the chooks that drew us to this campground in the first place. Of course, once we were here, we loved everything about Genoa Campground. It's definitely a favourite of ours now.
Bruce put his phone in the hammock with a recording of chooks clucking, and now they've come to investigate. That's so funny.
Girls are after him.
Oh, so close.
Yeah, they've got your number.
Yeah.
Nothing through there, darling.
Come on. Have some more. Come on, give it a go.
Well, we're just about home now after 2 weeks of free camping. We just are spending the last weekend here in Candelo. Beyond that building there and the tennis courts is William Loftus Park, and that's what you'll see in Wikicamps. But we're parked here on the outskirts of this oval, which is John Gordon Oval, and they ask you not to drive on the oval itself but to park your vans along the tree line. So this is our van here, and it's just a delightful little place to stop. It's nice to have some shade and just be a little bit secluded there on the edge of the oval. There's a general store and cafe across the road. I think there's a petrol station there too, but it's just a really nice little spot. It's not overly popular. I don't know why, but there's only been 1 or 2 vans here while we've been here, but it's just beautiful. And beyond the oval is the Candelo Creek, and so we have pretty easy access to the creek down through this little path. There's some steps here to make it a little bit easier for you, although we came in another track a little bit further down, but easy enough to get down here and come down to Candelo Creek. And it's quite a nice little creek. It's got some swimming holes there, water holes there, and some little waterfalls that you can sort of sit amongst and just cool off. Yesterday it was stinking hot, and so we decided to come down and cool off here in the Candelo Creek, and so it was just perfect. I can highly recommend this campsite at Candelo. It's a donation site if you want to leave a donation, but it's pretty much well got everything that you need for up to a 3-day stay.
And just when we thought we wouldn't see a live wombat,
We finally saw a living wombat. No. Oh, I can't see. There he is. Oh, good little fella. Well, that's it for our Snowy Mountain East Gippsland trip. We thoroughly enjoyed ourselves and we think we're getting the hang of free camping.
Now, if you've enjoyed this trip with us, please like and subscribe and be sure to join us on our next adventure.